Hello and welcome back to video 5 of starting a nonlinear business. So I'll be going over the usual feedback, financials, burning priorities, and I'll tell you how it relates to the business that I'm starting, and potentially you'll be able to use the same information yourself. So if we look at the feedback was reasonably good. So people liked the split screen still. People liked the clear writing. It was easier to read. And then closing thoughts. The last episode, people really liked how I closed out with a bit of a summary of those thoughts. It was by accident, but I'll take it. I'm yet to structure the videos properly, but we're going to do that. Another feedback was, since people have watched the previous 4, they liked how much I'm improving. I will say that the person, or the people that said that, they still expect significant improvement. So it's not you're doing so great you can stop. It's there's a long way to go. Keep doing it. Keep improving. Keep getting that 1% better. And then someone actually said it was inspirational. I think it's just because getting the content up frequently, day by day, no excuses. Last 2 days have been pretty rough, but such is life. So now, if we were to look at my financials, so I haven't spent any money, which I take as a win. So company is functionally dead. Now, what that means is need to make $26 minimum. That's not including my own time, to be able to bring the company back from being dead to being alive. So see how that goes. Still a fair way off. And we'll take it from there. Now, if you have a bit of a look, and so I was just figuring out why, and I now know why that whole colour kept changing, but I'll fix that up in other videos, or right now. So let's have a look and see. Okay, maybe not. Time will tell. Yeah, good. So what we have is the burning priorities, and the one that I want to talk to about today is the North Star. There's a lot of reasons why this is important, and the primary one is you're going to have a lot of opportunities in business, in creative projects, in anything that you do, and it's knowing what to say yes and what to say no to. And if you don't have a North Star, it can be easy to get misled by opportunity. Something that is 1% better, but holistically 20% back, people will still chase that 1%. On the flip side, like these videos, they're a step back. Probably I'd say 20%, 50% step back. However, in the big grand scheme of things, they set me up so much for everything that I want to do. So let's break it down. I have 5 websites. All of those are different businesses. So you wouldn't really want to do it that way. First off, as a bit of a tangent, websites are good if you don't have customers. So I believe that if you've got a traditional business, not a non-linear one, let's say moving, let's say accounting, let's say something else, it could be a personal trainer. All of those, having a website will give you credibility with people that you don't know. However, when you're first starting, you should have your owned network. And what that means is you should be able to at least go to 10, 20 people that you know, that you've worked with, that you've done work with, or know you through personal relationships. And you should be able to get your business up and running. And from there, you can spread by word of mouth. That's simplifying it, but my view is if you've got a website, it means you don't have customers. So, why do I have 5 websites? it's a non-linear business, which means I have no idea what I'm doing. I know I want a business, I have a vague idea, don't know how the market's going to respond to it, which means it's even more important for my North Star to be aligned. And so how that works is the website The Last Golden Age of Humanity. And what that is that's my North Star. So if you were to think of something like the periodic table as an example, when that was a concept, there was Russian physicists that put it out there. That's not the whole thing, but this is a specific part. And there was a heap of areas in the periodic table where they hadn't necessarily found all those elements, but he knew that they were there. And so that's where my North Star is with the last golden age of humanity. There are so many areas where I see huge fundamental lacks of knowledge, and I'm going to explore them. Why not? It's interesting. And then I'm going to relate them to how it would be in business. So if that means that the last golden age of humanity is thought leadership, sure. Maybe. It'd be great for interviews, meeting other people, be great for talking through ideas. Probably not going to make a whole host of money through it. Now, scaled customer acquisition or scaled client acquisition, that could just be business consulting for small to medium business or enterprise. Now, that could lead to more, especially from the last golden age of humanity, which is the ultimate pipeline generator. And the best part about the golden age of humanity is I don't expect it to make money. There's no pressure on it. I don't need to monetize it through YouTube. If I do, great. I don't need to get sponsors. If I do, great. But there's no expectation that that part of the business will be profitable. So business consulting is one thing. There's also Zero Research, which is a manufacturing arm. And that's a possibility from a while ago, but I think there's validity there. I don't want to do standard manufacturing. I want to do manufacturing where it's counterintuitive. Perfect example would be swept wings in aircraft. And so, intuitive. What that means is when planes were made, having swept wings wasn't necessarily the most intuitive thing. And as you can see, pretty much all planes now have counterintuitive swept wings. And I guess with scaled customer client acquisition, it's unscalable revenue. I really don't want to do times hours versus your worth. So if it's one-on-one coaching, or if it's a community potentially, but a community is more scalable. But I'm not saying one-on-one coaching's out of the door, but it's not my preferred area. Now, the last one is Northern Beaches space economy. That's a big hypothesis that I have. That is that space is the realm of billionaires and PhDs, and people are ignoring the small to medium businesses, which I feel could be ripe for the space economy. If you can show them how to make business out of it, I think it's a home run. Still to test the hypothesis, could blow up or it could be nothing, but that's fine. But that's one of the areas where I'm like, I think something's there. Now, what that means is you got to find something which meets that market, and it's just the thought process right now. We'll see where it goes. Not the highest priority. So, having a North Star, which all links around here, means that I'm going to then be able to test out how all this works. Now, what that looks like is all the thought leadership will lead into this hypothesis, which may or may not work. It means that the interviews could lead to business consulting or scalable ways. It could mean that out of the thought leadership, I get to explore some manufacturing. That's great. And one of the things that I do want to stress and reiterate is big companies at the top are all about hiring and retaining and attracting the top talent or the right fit. And at the very stages of businesses, that'll look like different areas. However, there was a saying, I can't remember what podcast it comes from, but they were saying that culture is the decisions that are made in the room when you're not there. And I think that's very powerful. And I think that the North Star is where that all starts. One of the best North Stars I saw was for a company that I was working for, and they had the goal to have 20 billion in revenue by the year 2020. Left the company before that happened. They may have gotten close. There's a whole host of things that would have happened which could have done that, but it's simple to remember. 20 billion by 2020. That was the North Star that got me really excited. So, with the golden age of humanity, I'm going to look at frameworks that already exist. Like there's the Kardashev scale, which shows about the energy consumption of spacefaring civilizations. There's the UN Sustainability Index. There's ones based around psychology, around technology, and I want to explore them. I feel like there's so many gaps in knowledge, and that's what I'm going to use the last golden age of humanity. So, in having a website, I'm probably only going to launch the one website, which means all these other names like Scalable Customer Acquisition, ZeroResearch.io, people can go and buy it. Like, fine. It means that I'm not spending the money. In worst case scenario, I can link them all through the last golden age of humanity. Haven't bought that yet because we're still negative 26. So what that means is that's my North Star. And I'm wrapping it in something called the Next Stage Development Index because there's a lot of crossover between fields and subject matter experts where it's not being looked at. And I'll talk about this a bit in the future, but I'm really excited to see where it goes. And I want you to have a bit of a think about what your North Star is and some opportunities that you've said yes to, either be it in business, be it in the work that you're doing, be it in hobbies, where you've said yes. And by saying yes, it's meant that you've had to say no to other areas where if you'd said no, you would have had a better end result. So, thanks as always, and looking forward to getting the rest of the videos out. On a closing note, still haven't got enough of a funnel, I haven't got any extra recorded videos, still chasing my own tail to get in front. Have about 10 episodes that I've started to do the drafts for. Need to do the thumbnails and come up with the writing notes, and we'll take it from there. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.